Want to get you all started here, excuse me, with the WFF Wealthy Fantasy Football for today's slate, the main on Fanduel, the NHL slate. So we can basically get you all some, basically a cash lineup built. They can enter in head-to-heads, maybe 50-50s, of course, double ups. And even a lot of times they'll make it, if you have a build it with a little bit, tweak it a little bit with a little bit more upside. So I'll show you how to find these players real quick. Just looking at overall, first the slate real quick, as I'm doing so here in my car, trying to see everything just fine here. Just what they do for the totals. Vegas wise, they just put them most of the implied team totals right here. Team goals under this column here, 2.5. They put the Oilers at 3.5, and they put the Penguins at 3.5. So it does not necessarily mean at all. You really don't want to just come in here and take these high scoring team totals and then try to pick out, let's say, you do use a draft dashboard and just say, oh, I picked out, these are the top 100 dash rank players and put them in there and plug them in and I'm done for the day. No, it's not that simple at all. There's a lot of other things that you want to know here. For example, these things are in here, such as when you look at this column, the points per game and the minutes column right here showing the last 3 games. Most teams are at 3 games played already, so this is good data for this restart since the bubble has done so. So the last 3 games, for example, with Connor McDavid, 17, 41, and 36 points. Very good, good floor and good ceiling. Best player on the slate, probably. And then, minutes, obviously 21, 18, 23, very good minutes for a forward as well. So that's why this is hit here in red. We're watching him and playing him whenever, wherever we can. So this next guy, Drysdale, he has a cold symbol there. There's a 0. Um, he has 24, 20, 21. That's fine. He had a game where he had a 0 for some reason. Maybe there's something there we don't know about, but this is where it takes more in detail, research, looking up guys, what it says about them. Come back over here, just hitting on the guy's name real quick and looking to see what it says. So when you look at, let's do that right now. The point I was making just a bit earlier, though, was that this doesn't tell you the data as far as how many assists they're getting per game. Importantly, important stats such as block shots, um, and especially shots on goals and goals. To try to get that data ready for you. So I have other sources which I have also pulling data from, and getting it in there. What you want to do, make sure you understand all that's going on. You can read about it here, of course. All that, let's see recent performances, but um, the point was here, as far as the centers are concerned, that he did get 20 minutes in a game and had 0 points, and that's terrible. So a terrible floor there for Drysdale. As we can kind of move on from there and not include him in our cash lineup, we may want to of course include Crosby with 12. The minutes good, 19 to 24 minutes, 12, 22, and 20 points the last 3 games. So that's fine. We also want to consider which guys are playing in a round robin, which guys are playing in a tournament qualifier. We want to take the guys that are, I believe it's the qualifiers, if I have the name of the term right, that are actually fighting for a playoff spot. The other guys, when you see, look at the schedule, it's showing, doesn't show like who's leading 1-1 or anything like that. 2-1 in the series. That's an easy way to indicator of, okay, I want to take guys more likely from this particular game. So keep that in mind as you're building out your lineups as well. So let's say we want to go ahead and get McDavid in there, and we want to go ahead and get Crosby or even Malcolm in there because I know he's got a good floor as well. If we want to go Pittsburgh, we've already got, just a projected example here, 2 of our guys that we just touched on from the higher scoring implied team total games, which is fine for now. 7,700 Malkin. I'm going to try to save the salary and work with a second line probably for Pittsburgh. Speaking of that line, let's look over here at left wing lock. We have the forwards here. Malkin. These are this was the most recent practice, probably from the other day, of course, but it may update and show like with yesterday. I lost the game probably because they messed with the lines. They put Parise from Minnesota up on the line with the other guys, first line, and somehow that messed them up. They didn't score enough points. The goalie messed up as well, and so I didn't cash in that cash lineup. So now we are, of course, looking to avoid that, but also to hedge our lineups with, also as I did, taking guys against that goalie, against Minnesota's goalie, which were Vancouver, and I ended up also taking Vancouver's goalie as well and did very well in those triple ups to offset the loss amount from the cash lineups from the head-to-head 50-50. So hope I'm not going too fast for you to understand that, but that's the basis of it. To get more information, what you want to do is go ahead and go to right in here. I'm going to leave it in the description, link in the description. Also comment there, of course, if you have any comments or questions about what's going on with this feed of NHL picks for the day, which you will also find at wealthyfantasyfootball.com. But this is where you just hit to join us, where you get, like it says here, the free ebook, email tips of the day, how to access coaches for any sport you play in, as we work and collaborate together to get you best lines for every sport, and always tweaking and making sure that we are providing the best lines we can. You just hit your subscribe button after entering your email address there, so you can continue to get everything in on everything that we are giving out, basically. All right, so back to that lineup we're making there. We have our centers. Now we want to look at our wingers for the day. We already watched some guys here, such as Gensel. He's probably not on the line. No, he's not, as I know, just from experience with Malkin. So let's try to look on down. Nugent Hopkins we can fit in with as he plays with McDavid. He's always a good play. You really can't go wrong with him. 18, 34, 35 fantasy points the last 3 games, over 20 minutes or 20 minutes, last few games. So let's go ahead and insert him into our lineup without a problem there. I don't think he's too expensive at winger. Goalies, we're not going to know, so we're not going to set that. For now, we're going to confirm goalies and do some more deeper research information there. It's also very difficult to trust a goalie. It's not like an ace starting pitcher in baseball, but it can be very difficult. So you just want to hedge that. As well as I mentioned, take all the players that are opposing him in another lineup that you build in like a triple up. I recommend maybe a quintuple up. I think is what you call it properly, or a 1 out of 5 player contest, and only one, only which, excuse me, one player wins, that type of thing. So we got Nugent Hopkins, and we got, let's just take a median priced goalie, just so we have someone in there to try to formulate our prices here. Waiting on that to, there we go. Let's take a midsection goalie who's not too high. We'll find some value, $7,500, $7,600 type, Corey Crawford projected goalie starting anyways. For that, Chicago, Edmonton though, going to be tough. Maybe not. We're not going to do that. Let's take him out. Let's try Markstrom. Maybe he'll stay hot. Just as an example, you never know. With these goalies, the puck just goes anyway a lot of times. Just, important things to just remember, though, is just building base lineups. Remember your minutes, fantasy points scored for floor, and look at, ceiling for other type of contests that you want to look at. I do like Zucker. He's, I believe, on the first line. Let's see. No, Zucker's in with Malkin, so there's a nice little stack. Not worried too much about stacking at this point, but it's always a good idea to correlate that. So we'll try to get him in there. That was Zucker. Might just have to type his name in there to find him. Once he pulls up here. There we go. Put him in, 6,100. We need a couple more wingers, and then we'll move on to defensemen. Hopefully we have enough salary left over. Let's look at some other guys there. Hard to trust Fiala now with what's going on in Minnesota right now. But Keller, very decently priced, 5,400. As we can see here, his last several games been at least 11 fantasy points, and is getting 16, 18, 18 minutes. That's fine. We can do that, Keller. As I'll do more thorough research, make sure that these guys are what we want as well. Arizona is in one of those games, of course, where it's qualifying for the playoffs. So we're looking for Keller at winger. We'll just type his name in there as well. K-E. Keller, I believe, is not one of those guys that are on one of the top lines, if I'm not mistaken. He could be on the second line, but projected line second, so that's good. With a lot of teams, once you get up into first and second lines, overall, as we're showing here, like with Chicago, I noticed a guy that was very good looking in terms of points scored on the third line. So it's a very productive line. Doc, DeBrincat, and then the defenseman we'll talk about in a moment here, maybe Mata, but maybe not. I'll tell you why. So let's look for those Chicago guys. Let's go ahead and take DeBrincat, since we actually already filled out our centers. If we need Dak, we'll put him in there. So to not make this too long. Hopefully, as this hopefully pulls back up, just have to wait a moment and get you all up to speed. On my possible cash lineup, there'll be some adjustments, a few probably in there as well, trying to make things work. But at winger, we need winger again. Just waiting for that to pull up. DeBrincat, where are you? There you are. Price is 5,000. That's a good price for that kind of production. Projected second line. Second, third lines. Sometimes with some teams like Chicago is an exception to other teams that just play like mostly, first, second lines. Third lines get some actions, but there are some guys that, that I know of that are in situations where they get good, third line production out of one particular guy, such as like yesterday Alex Tuck for Vegas, and another guy is like Hornquist for Pittsburgh. I don't know if he's done anything lately, but he's just that type of guy where he's, getting some production on the third line, no matter what his mates do. So, just getting goals whenever he can, hustling, playing hard, that type of guy. So, um, let's see what else we got here. So we have, just to check now, how much left over per defensive position. I'm just looking 36.50. So we do need some cheap guys, of course. Now let's look at defensemen really quick. Or we can just make it easier ourselves, like I mentioned, and put in Dak. I like the higher price, safer goalies, but we will use this guy Mata, as I mentioned, Chicago. The only problem is he's only getting 13, 15, 17 minutes, but however scored 28, 17, and 13 fantasy points the last 3 games. So he's interesting playing with DeBrincat to put him together. Since we do like him, we will do that and make an exception on the minute total here for the day. So we're going to type in Mata, M-A. Come on. I think it was M-A-A. T. There you are. Okay. And then we are going to drop out. Oof, this is where it gets tough. Uh, we can take out Malkin, put in Dak, right? Make our third line stack for Chicago. They get a lot of time there. It doesn't have Patty Kane, but has some good production. So let's do that here on Fanduel. Go back over to our center, take him out, type in Dak, D-A-C-H. I am building it out for you right now. It's not really too much of a stack other than Chicago. Well, you got Edmonton and Nugent Hopkins, RNH. You got Connor. So you got a good base of guys there that have been with a good floor and been good productive and good ceiling as well. A lot of this is based on, like I mentioned, those peripheral stats which are so good in the minutes. Let's see, he's not coming up for some reason. Doc, I need you. Let's just double check the spelling of his name. Sorry to just bear with me there. I know it's D-A-C-H, I'm pretty sure. Not that line, I'm talking about Chicago's line. Where am I at here? There he is. Now you want to show up. Okay, now we just need one more defenseman. As price-wise, we are at 5,600, I believe. As long as he's in there. Then we just need a defenseman to round this out. Defensemen get a lot of good peripheral stats as well normally. Let's go, get in there. Let's hurry it along. Take a look at our defensemen just to see, get an idea what we want. Who we want. Let's go. Okay, so we got options of Duncan Keith. These guys get well over 20 minutes. Defensemen get more minutes. Alexander Edler, Matt Dumba, I like. So let's try to find one of those guys at, we got to spend at least 4,200 there. Let's go. Finish this. Come on. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure we're going to fit in one of those guys. I'm going to leave it at that for the video. And just check in there. Go to wealthyfantasyfootball.com. Make sure you do that as well to look at the NHL lineups. There it is. Finally. Lone player doesn't have to be stacked, most likely.